Good morning. Good morning. How are you all doing today? Today is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Today, I am going to talk about passive aggressive disorder. Yes, you may have heard the words being said over and over again, and you may not have known what the actual definition of passive aggressiveness is. But I'm going to talk about it on today because passive aggressiveness is a form of a spiritual disorder. People are walking in it years after year, days after days, and not understanding how this spiritual attack is controlling their lives. First of all, what is passive aggressiveness? Passive aggressiveness is a disorder where a person is not cognizant of their emotions and their feelings. They're not in touch with them, but they think they are. So when you deal with a passive aggressive person, you're dealing with a person who is delusional to the point of it's never their fault, it's always somebody else's fault. They cannot see the realization of their actions because it's something that they've been doing more than likely since youth, since their childhood, early childhood, early youth, and it's a pattern that they have adapted. Passive aggressive people are cannot see the truth in their actions and what they're doing. When you come across these people, they will be the ones who tend to blame everyone else and not themselves. They are the ones that we like to say they like to throw a rock and hide their hand. You ever met those kind of people? You know they're doing something. Um, and when you approach them and confront them, the first thing they say is, I don't know what you're talking about. But you know in your heart, you may not have the actual proof, but you know in your spirit that this person has done something underhanded or sneaky, and but they'll never admit the truth. Matter of fact, some passive aggressive people don't even consider their actions as truth. They believe that they're being lied on. When you get that person that's always saying, you're lying on me, you're lying on me, I didn't say that, and you're like, I didn't say you said that. I said, did you do that? Well, I didn't, you're saying I did. No, I didn't say that. Passive aggressive people will tend to be very confrontational and very defensive, because they know they did it, but they don't want it. They can't ever admit it because most passive aggressive people tend to walk in this illusion of perfection, that they're doing everything right, that it's everybody against them. They really have a hard time saying to themselves, I really feel this way. It all has to do with feelings and emotions, because they were taught at an early age to not express their emotions the way they were needing to or the way they were trying to. Passive aggressive people tend to they act out. They act out how they feel. So what do I mean when I say they act out how they feel? So um, they will say, I really don't feel like that. Like, if you approach them and you say, hey, I feel like there's an issue between me and you, or you have an issue with me, and they're the ones who will say, oh no, I don't have any issues with you. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't feel like that. I don't know what you're talking about. And you say, okay, since you say you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll just leave it at that. And they'll say, well, I really think it's you have issues with me. Okay, I don't, but that's how you feel. But they'll say that they're fine and there's no problem. But the passive aggressive people is that person who once when they leave, they walk out the room or they leave your home or wherever you're at, that's the person that will go and do some covert, sneaky little underhanded thing. Whether they when they leave your house, they scratch your car, they'll do a little scratch, a little nick on your car, or they'll go out and post something, on Facebook pertaining to your conversation. And so you're like, okay, I thought you said you didn't have an issue, but yet you go behind me and you do some little sneaky covert thing. Well, that's that passive aggressive person's way of really saying how they feel. They don't know how to express their emotions, so they do other things. Another example of a passive aggressive person is if, let's say, you're married to one, and you'll notice that things are always coming up missing. Some of your favorite things are always missing. After, if you pay attention to it, it'll come like after an argument or after a disagreement, or it may be just out of the blue. You never know with these people. So what they do is, say you and your husband is the passive aggressive one, and you're having hard times, you're having struggles financially or whatever, and he's like, well, I wish I could buy me this or get me this or that, and he can't. It's tight. The finances are tight. But somebody blesses you with, say, your favorite bottle of perfume. Maybe it was your birthday, or maybe somebody did something on the job, and you bring that home and you show it to him. You're all happy and excited, and he's like, oh, that's good. But in the inside, there's really like a feeling of resentment that, oh, you're getting something, I can't get something. I want to get something. There's a resentment there. Or somebody bought you something, and now you're happy and I'm sad. So what happens is, a couple of days later, that bottle of perfume is gone. No explanation. You don't know what happened. You're looking for it and it's not there. And so you go to him and you say, did you see my perfume? And he's like, oh, I didn't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't see it. I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't touch it. Are you saying I touched it? That defensiveness starts coming in. And then you're like, okay, never mind. You never see that bottle of perfume again. A couple of months later, you're in the garage, and you're in the box and you're looking for something, and all of a sudden there's that bottle of perfume stuck down at the bottom. Yeah. And then you go and say, "Why? How did this get?" I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't put it there. Okay, a ghost put it there, I guess. Okay. That's when you know you're dealing with passive aggressiveness. The danger in people like that is that it's the little covert, little wicked things that they do that can be very damaging and destroying to you, to your character, to your integrity, to your reputation. You have to really be careful with people like this. If you're and the list goes on and on and on. And I'm going to come back later and talk more about it. I don't have my notes, so I really can't, can't go over everything that I want to go over to explain to people all of the signs and the causes of this. And not only, this is not to pinpoint or point anybody out or call anybody out, it's also to reflect and look at ourselves and see, are we that passive aggressive person too? Because we could be and not know we are. A lot of times the change cannot come in anyone, whether you're passive aggressive, narcissistic, or you just a good old, you're just a good person with some flaws and issues. Nothing can really change until, first, things are brought to our attention. Second, until we accept them and not be in denial. And third, until we go to God and ask him for a complete total change. So my purpose of this video is not to complain or to vent or to rant and rave and or to get people upset or to get people disliking other folks. Don't run up to nobody saying you passive aggressive. That's what's wrong with you. That's not what this video is about. It's education. It's all about educating. We have to be educated in order to be better. But not only do we have to be educated to be better, we have to be educated to be better for the kingdom. We can't rock the kingdom like God intended us to, build the kingdom, bring people into the kingdom, until we get ourselves in the right place with God. That's the only way he's going to be able to use us. If we're walking around with all these worldly spiritual attachments that are not of God, we're going to do more damage to the body of Christ than good. So I'll be back, and I'll have more, be better, and more educational. I hope this video blessed someone on today. May God bless you and keep you is my prayer, and I'll see you again.